What's up, guys? Welcome back to UFO News. In response to a Freedom of Information Act request, the United States government has recently disclosed upwards of 13 million documents, ranging from top-secret programs involving psychic abilities to the investigation into UFOs and extraterrestrial life. If you do a quick Google search about this topic, you'll see exactly how much traction the story has gained. It's been covered by the media, by YouTube channels, and I've even had a couple conversations about it in the line of a coffee shop. Do you know the one common thing that I've noticed about all of the stories in regards to this release? People seem to be really excited about it, and that's a good thing. But this isn't the first time that the government has declassified documents of this nature. In fact, the FBI has an entire website called The Vault, which is specifically designed to handle these requests. It acts as a searchable database for the public to use to make looking through these files a little more convenient. Some of you might also remember hearing about The Vault in the news. Back when the story was released, there was quite a lot of buzz about it then as well. Which leads me to the point of this video. We've seen all of the news articles about the release of these 13 million documents, but you know what we haven't seen? Not a damn thing worth really talking about. There are some interesting things in this release, don't get me wrong, but as far as it being credible evidence that could take us closer to disclosure or getting anywhere near a real truth, not a chance. The only thing that people trust less than the mainstream media is the United States government. Does anybody out there really think that the gatekeepers of the extraterrestrial presence on Earth, the same people who have kept us in the dark for decades, would suddenly release any sort of meaningful evidence in these files? Of course not. If the government wants to keep something secret, they're gonna do it, and there's not a single thing that anyone can do about it. As I've mentioned in a previous video, the term national security gives them the ability to keep anything they want from reaching the public domain. Now, occasionally, there are cracks in the system, and sometimes things do slip through. So perhaps when I say there's nothing that we can do about it, I'm going a little bit too far. After all, we're here right now talking about this very subject. Do you want to know the real reason why they released these documents? The answer is pretty simple. The entire thing was meant to be a distraction, a giant smokescreen that would be impossible to navigate through. The amount of FOIA requests sent to the government each year is pretty staggering. You don't even have to wonder how many were sent because they actually have a website that's designed to tell you. Do you want to know how many FOIA requests had to do with UFOs and aliens? Way more than they wanted to deal with. If you weren't planning on releasing this information, but you were constantly being asked to, wouldn't you get a little sick and tired of it? And from their perspective, it costs time, money, and effort to keep deflecting these questions. So what do they decide to do? Release once and for all the motherload of documents that will absolutely bury us in a pile of meaningless garbage that we might spend the next 10 years sifting through. And it's actually a pretty smart move on their part, considering their real motivation was really just to be able to say that once and for all, you have all the files that we possibly have, so any future FOIA requests on these topics can be referred back to the documents we've already given you. There's no need to ask any more questions because we've already given you all the answers. And if the government wants to keep something secret, there's really not much that we can do about it. The term national security gives them the ability to keep anything they want from reaching the public domain. They don't even have to explain why something's a threat to national security, because even mentioning the very thing that makes it a threat to national security, they can say is a threat to national security. So it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's sort of like a snake eating its own tail. The release gives them the illusion of cooperation with the public, but it's just that, a clever illusion. The most ironic part about this entire thing is that they don't even have to work very hard to sell it. All they have to do is make an announcement to CNN or Fox News, and within a matter of hours, we have websites across the entire world instantly reporting on it, and people think it's really cool. And I don't blame them for that. They think it's going to lead them to some answers. There are some interesting tidbits in there, but they're just sprinkled in just enough to not get you thinking about what's really going on. And it's this sort of excitement that backfires. When nobody's willing to take a closer look or examine the event in a different way, then we end up just doing their work for them, and I don't think that that's an accident. If the government is willing to spy on every single person on the entire planet, every phone call recorded, every text message captured, every email copied, every movement and location and document tracked, cataloged, and preserved for future reference, then do you really think that these same people, who in their own minds are acting in the best interest of Americans, wouldn't be willing to keep this sort of a thing a secret? Of course they would. They are keeping it a secret. They will continue to keep it a secret, and it's going to take either us or something else to uncover the truth. Somebody recently asked me if they thought there was any possible way that the government could be involved in disclosure. And I think there are a couple reasons to think that it's possible. But for each reason that it is possible, I can give you 13 million reasons why it's not. Thanks for watching UFO News. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy the videos. A few clicks goes a long way. If you want to get instantly notified whenever our videos get released, hit the notifications button right next to the subscribe button. Thanks for watching UFO News, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.